Welcome back to hour two. I wish we were doing it in real time, but
we're back.
Maybe I want to throw one of these at myself. You know what I'm saying? Just hit it there. I want to pull this graphic up, though. I thought this was cool since we were talking receivers, and we'll move on here in a second. So this is yards per route run against man versus zone. You got zone running vertically, man running horizontally. So the goal is upper right being the best receiver in football. There's three receivers that have really separated themselves. Nico Collins is obviously injured, I think, for the rest of the year, if I remember correctly. But he's one that was just absolutely dominating. He's now obviously out of the mix. You got Justin Jefferson, who's always going to be in the mix, and A.J. Brown, boys, is just an absolute stud. So what you're looking for are receivers in that upper right quadrant here. And the only two in that upper right for the Packers are Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, albeit they're right near the median line. They're not really great at zone coverage or man coverage. But they are in the positive. We just want to point that out. Dontavion Wicks is in the lower left there, okay? And then everybody's going, where's Jaden Reed? So against man coverage, Jaden Reed not that good, right, as far as yards per route run against man coverage. But when you look at zone, he is third best in the league as far as yards per route ran against zone coverage. Only Nico Collins and Jennings from the 49ers are higher than Jaden Reed. So what you're noticing here, Tucker Kraft, you see he's really good against zone too. Not really good, but I mean, he's good for a tight end. He's above Zach Ertz there. I'm trying to see if there's any other tight ends that are above him. Where's our boy? I'm looking for Kittle. I always want to compare results between Tucker Kraft and Kittle to kind of see where he's at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing Kittle on this. I see Kelsey down there. Tucker Kraft.
Kittle's right underneath Don Smith, Brian Thomas Jr. It's a little bit better at man, about level 3 on zone.
Gotcha. And Tucker Kraft, again, not very good against man, but in zone, one of the best tight ends against zone, right? Because you're looking at some of these names here. You got Trey McBride up there. He's a tight end. But, yeah, Dallas Goedert's a tight end. But definitely what you find on these charts are who are your best zone beaters? Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, right? Who are your best man beaters? Best man beaters are probably going to be Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. There's no one else on the right side of that line. And obviously, like we said, Dontavion Wicks struggling a bit there. So
right. That also has me looking at the Lions too, Clay. Like, all right, who's their man beaters? We got Sam Laporta and Williams. And then, all right, who's their zone beater? Amon-Ra St. Brown right there. Less than Jaden Reed, but still, I think it's key for, a good team to kind of have that split. You got to have a little bit of both to be able to go to.
Yep. Pretty cool graphic, though. I like to hit on that while we were talking about the wide receivers. Might as well touch on that. Just to tell you. Anything you want to talk about there, Tim? Any thoughts, comments on that, man?
No, I'm just kind of processing it. It's pretty cool, though. I like that they did this. Shout out to Football Insights. That's awesome.
Yeah, great follow at @football_insights on Twitter. Unbelievable follow. And again, the whole point of the bye week is you're kind of self-scouting. And what you're coming away with is when you play teams that play heavy man coverage, right, you want to try to go to Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. When you're playing teams that run heavy zone coverage, you're going to go to people like Tucker Kraft and Jaden Reed. Now, we were expecting in that last game, we were expecting the Lions to play a lot more zone than man, and they end up playing more man than we expected. That's what Matt LaFleur said in the presser, right? So that's one of the things that even though you're scouting a team, you've got to be prepared. And that's why Coach Belichick always talked about the first quarter of the game is all about gathering information and making an adjustment, right? The second quarter and the beginning of the third is all about positioning yourself to control the middle eight. And then the fourth quarter is a standalone game. You throw the game plan completely out in the fourth quarter. What's the information we've gathered across these first three quarters of this game? Let's attack as if this is a totally separate game, right? So, again, it's kind of cool to see who's separating themselves, though.
Hopefully Matt and the team are hammering something like that out, Clay. Not that they don't do it already, but that maybe there's some improvements that they could hone in on during that, or something that they can take from the middle eight or the beginning or something, or they pick up from another team, anything. That's what this week's about.
Yeah. I bet if you roll by 1265 right now, Matt's office light's on. He's in there I guarantee he's working his ass off. He in there burning a couple lung darts, getting ready to roll.
Hanging out with this guy, steaming it up.
Yeah, they're sleeping there playing Madden.
Giving him a lighter, helping out.
Never know, you might go downstairs, run into this guy. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Here's the guy.
They're having a Madden tournament on the big screen. They're just.
And then you go on the backside of Lambeau at the loading dock, and you got these two cats. Right, Matt changed shirt, through the orange vest on. We're good to go. So, all right, let's talk defense for a second. That good with you guys?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about all right, what are some of the most important aspects of the defense from a statistic standpoint? Many people, you see tackles and you think a guy's having a good year. Obviously, Quay Walker is once again leading the team in tackles, but it's all about the depth of tackle. We don't have that on here, unfortunately. We do have stops. We've got hustle stops, all that type of stuff. Let's see who's hustling their ass off this year. Look at who it is. Rookie Javon Bullard with 9 hustle stops. We talked about Keyshawn Nixon struggling a little bit in coverage, but playing really well against the run. 6 hustle stops there. Isaiah McDuffie, 5 hustle stops. Xavier McKinney, 4. Quay Walker, 4. Evan Williams, 4. Eric Stokes, 2. Edgerrin Cooper, 2. Obviously having far fewer snaps. That's how that shakes out. Now, when you go to overall tackles, though, again, Quay Walker leading the way when it comes to stops. He's second on the team in stops, okay? So he's the guy who I'm trying to think of how they tally up stops on here. I want to say stops were it's not a run stuff. I think it's just you were the one responsible for stopping the play, whether or not you got the solo tackle or not.
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
Was it within 3 yards or no?
See, it may be, but I was thinking that was a run stuff through SIS data. We don't have SIS anymore. Ryan moved on from that. Yeah. But again, it's not a bad statistic to have, second most stops on the team.
So not at all.
The depth of tackle is what's really, really important. That's something that SIS data had, and I know Quay has struggled with that. But Isaiah McDuffie, man, when you look at as far as tackling, stopping the ball carrier, man, it's a little bit better than I expected there, Tim. Does that kind of catch you off guard a little bit?
A little, but I always thought that was, kind of McDuffie's strong suit. Is he's a good downhill guy. He's a tackler. He's great in the run fits. We talk about him flying out in coverage, and he struggles there sometimes. Maybe he's a little late. But I'm not totally blown away by it. But I am a little surprised that now that you really see it and you have all the data in front of you, or at least this data in front of us. I mean, McDuffie is a valuable asset in that linebacker room. We're talking about getting Edgerrin Cooper more snaps. What do we do? Do we turn the page with Quay Walker? Who's going to be the green dot? All of these things. It's like, for every mistake I've seen Zay McDuffie make, I've seen him make 3 or 4 killer tackles or huge plays, huge stops for us. So it's just awesome to see. He's a really good tackler. He really is. Probably one of our better tacklers on the defense.
Very sticky tackler, right?
Yeah.
Like when it's like Velcro almost. Like when he gets back there, he's on him.
He's in one of them Velcro suits, jumping on the trampoline, and where you got to jump, land on the wall.
Yep,
exactly right. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's go quarterback pressures. One of the big. Let's talk sacks first, okay? So Devontae Wyatt leads the team with 3 sacks. Preston Smith had 2.5 sacks. He's no longer on the football team. Rashawn Gary with 2.5, Edgerrin Cooper 2.5, Eric Wilson 2, Keyshawn Nixon 2, Quay Walker 1.5, Kingsley Enagbare 1.5, Carl Brooks 1.5, Xavier McKinney and Lucas Van Ness both with 1, and then Isaiah McDuffie and Aaron Mosby with each a half a sack. Now let's talk about quarterback pressures. Rashawn Gary leads the team, and by a pretty good margin here, about 13 pressures. He's now at 28 on the year. Kenny Clark is second with 15. Devontae Wyatt, third with 12. Preston Smith had 11. TJ Slayton with 11 pressures. Kingsley Enagbare with 10. Lucas Van Ness with 10. Carl Brooks with 9. So the big thing there.
Shut the hell up about Rashawn Gary, you haters. I don't want to hear it. He's look at that numbers. Look at the disparaging distance between pressures between first and second on this list. I mean,
right. It doesn't mean he's playing great, but it's like you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
He's one of your bright points. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
What do you want an edge guy to do? You want an edge guy to be able to get pressures.
Right. On top of that, look at his coverage stats. 3 targets, only 2 receptions for 13 yards allowed with a 75-7 rating. Like, what else could you ask for?
Put him in the slot. Right. Let's go.
Let's go. Put him in the slot. Let's go to pressure percentage. All right. And some of these are going to be skewed a little bit because they don't have as many pass rush snaps. But Xavier McKinney looks like he's rushed the quarterback 7 times. He's at a 42.9% pressure rate. Keyshawn has rushed the quarterback 10 times. He's got a 40% pressure rate. Aaron Mosby, this might only 3 pass rushes, but 33% there, one of which the tackle did fall down, right? We talked about that on Chalk Talk. Isaiah McDuffie, man, when they bring these linebacker blitzes, look at this. Isaiah McDuffie, 31.3%. Eric Wilson, 23.1%. Edgerrin Cooper, 21.7%. And then Javon Bullard has only had, 10 pass rushes. It's actually kind of high. I didn't expect to see 10 pass rushes from Javon Bullard, but he's at a 20% pressure rate. And then when you get down to the down linemen, the down, you know what I mean, down defenders that are actually pinning their ears back and going after the quarterback on a consistent basis, Rashawn Gary leads the way at 13.5%. TJ Slayton, 11.8%. Quay Walker, another linebacker, at 11.4%. You got Devontae White at 11.1%. Kobe Wooden at 9.1%. Kingsley Enagbare at 7.7%. And then LVN at 7.2%. I think people have a misconception that Kingsley Enagbare has just got this high pressure rate, and it's really just not true. Now he hasn't played a whole lot. Maybe that'll go up as they put him in the lineup a little more consistently. But I did want to go to back to play time here in just a second, but let's hit on the pressure percentage here. Anything catch you guys off guard there? I mean, it just shows the linebackers. When we blitz the linebackers, man, Hafley is drawing up the perfect scheme there.
Yeah, and all I was going to say, Tim, was a lot of our volume rushers are a little low. Obviously, I know we're looking for 10%. Preston Smith gone, Kenny, 200 was 216 attempts, just shy of 7%. Not ideal. Going to need a couple of games to get that number up. But as long as the team is winning and the defense winning, I think that's where Hafley's at. And that's what he's told us, is that he just wants that W at the end of the season. If the stats come for the players at the same time, let's go with that. Let's help them. But, I think it's just I think we're going to be scheming up a lot more pressures if that's the way it's going to work, and just let our base kind of go around and just, fill your gap, do your assignment, and then let's scheme up some pressures for the rest of, our skill guys.
Yeah. Holmes in the chat says, I agree, Tim. The smoke directed at Gary is silly. It's just box score watchers. That gets frustrating trying to deal with those. I've learned just don't even respond. It's like you. And then if you do respond and you try to explain, well, actually, here's what they ran schematically. Here's when you come off feeling like, they'll call you something as if you're trying to act like you know more than them. It's like, okay, we just don't even need to have a conversation. Your mind's made up. It is what it is. So I did want to hit this. Let's go pressure or playtime percentage again. So now that Preston Smith's gone, right? He was getting 53.7% of the snaps. So let's see who we think is going to take his place. All right.
That's read my mind, Clayton. This was my question.
Almost
totally read my mind. Love it.
Almost 300 snaps are going to get replaced. I mean, that's moving forward. That's a good chunk of snaps right there. Yeah.
So obviously Kenny Clark, 68.9%. He's interior defensive lineman. Your first edge defender is Rashawn Gary at 64.3% of the play time. So Preston Smith was at 53.7%. Okay, so there was a little bit of a rotation there. It looks like J.J. Enagbare might be the guy that they're planning on replacing Preston Smith with, predominantly at 43.2%. Maybe he will take over. He's either going to take over Preston Smith's snap count and go up 10% to that 53% level, or maybe they split it between him and LVN, right, who's at 41%. So
I could see that, because they're already so close in snaps anyway. They only have 12 snap difference throughout the season. So you might as well just say, all right, out of those 50 or 30, 40, whatever Preston gets, you guys are both going to get 20 more a game, and let's go for it. Bring them both to around 45. I don't, like you said, I think Rashawn's going to be the only one maybe over 55, 60 on the edge. Just, your one all-star that's got to be out there more. Maybe we even put Rashawn out there a little bit more. I know that
right.
It kind of seemed like a few times we looked down and it's like, all right, Rashawn's not even out there. But I wouldn't be opposed to having him get a little bit more reps as we start approaching the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Tim? Anything you want to add here, man?
Well, no, that answered my question because my gut was telling me LVN and Igbare, and rather than it being one or the other, it's going to be both. It's going to be that committee, and I think that's probably the best way to start when you're looking at that, because we talked about the trade, right? We got a pick, we didn't get a player. You rarely see a position for position trade anyway in the league anyhow. So like you're not going to trade an edge and bring an edge in a lot of times. So I think the plan always must have been to get Igbare more reps, get LVN more reps. We talked about Mosby being another guy. Brenton Cox Jr. There's some names on that roster that you're not going to get better not playing football. So I think that's the plan moving forward. I can't wait to see it. Best of luck to Preston out there in Pittsburgh, but I'm excited about our boys now, seeing what that edge lineup is going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody actually mentioned it earlier, I think in the chat. Oh, I think it was actually, I can't pull it up right now, but we'll do it toward the end. Actually, I'm going to read it off without pulling it on the screen.
Perfect.
Dave Colvin in our Patreon group, shout out to Dave, awesome listener, says, guessing Green Bay saw Preston as a progress stopper. Some people are going, what does that mean, progress stopper? That's a phrase that was coined by the great Bill Parcells. And he's talking about players that might be better right now for your team, but it's taking snaps away from someone who has a higher ceiling, and you're slowing that progress down for that young player to be able to take that next step, right? That's what progress stopper means. So shout out to Dave Colvin. That's probably what was going on there, right?
Yeah. Well, did you hear the reports about Preston apparently requested this trade?
He did, absolutely.
And it's, maybe not being comfortable in the scheme, and it was time to go back to his, we got away from the 34, right?
Right.
He's more comfortable in the 34. Maybe it's just that simple,
Yeah. That was definitely, and he actually confirmed it too. So it wasn't like, hey, is this something that's,
Yeah. And I know it is a little different just because we were, running a 2-4-5, and now we're running a 4-2-5. So, but the issue is like he's sitting on the edge and not, being able to contain as much. He's got to drive more, all those sorts of things. So,
and in the dirt on occasion, he's
right.
Yeah.
Why force him into it?
Yeah, and I think that, with the snap count too, right, that we're talking about, Preston's probably looking to get that snaps kind of like Gary, right, that 64%.
Yeah.
And him sitting at 53.7. Now, when he goes to Pittsburgh, he's going to he might get fewer snaps, to be honest with you. I don't know what their injury situation's like over there, but it sounds like, according to I listen to the McAfee show a lot, and Tone Diggs is really plugged in with the Steelers. It's his favorite team. And he said he thinks it's going to be more of a rotational thing, right? So, but definitely Preston requested a trade. I love what Goody said in the presser too. Goody said, yeah, I'm happy that we were able to get him to a team that's contending, and not a bad situation, right? So respect to both of them. Preston Smith's a stand-up dude, man.
And you're not mad at anything that they did over the offseason, re-signing him or anything, right? You're not mad at that approach of, hey, let's get him in here and let's go with it. Do you think they're kind of holding out on LVN and Igbare, as to why we brought him back kind of thing? Or
I think they wanted to legitimately see how he would handle this 43 and be in this system, being a veteran. And then now, look, we're 9 games into the season.
Didn't work out.
And that's the respectable thing to do. It's not about Preston Smith not wanting to be a Packer. It's about him just, hey, I'm not really I'm not vibing well with this system. Is there somewhere you can move me? I mean, that's professional courtesy, really, what it is. I mean, that's how you handle it. So I don't think anyone should be upset about how this panned out, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how many times have we see on Chalk Talk, 91 drop, 91 drop, 91 drop, right? Like he was constantly dropping into coverage, probably because they didn't want to waste Gary in coverage. They wanted to use him on those stunts because he knew Gary was drawing a lot of eyeballs to him, one of the highest chip players in the league. So you put him on that stunt where he's already occupying 2-3 defenders. You're taking the chip out of the equation. If you put Preston over there and you drop Gary into coverage, they're not going to chip him. They're not going to chip Preston because they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think it's probably more of that. Not that Preston don't want to drop into coverage. He's still going to drop into coverage when he goes to Pittsburgh. They run a 34 zone blitz defense. That's what they run.
I don't think he minds it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. So the big thing here is when you look at Preston Smith's snap count, 53.7%, right, of the playing time. And you had Enigbari at 43.2. Essentially what you're looking to make up is 10% there. I think Enigbari will probably jump to about 48%, and LVN will jump to about 46%, would be my guess. And as soon as one of those guys takes the bull by the freaking horn, then, hey, all right, that's your starter, and they'll make sure they get the bulk of the snaps. That's probably how that'll play out, I would imagine.
You're more comfortable with Enigbari dropping than LVN dropping into coverage, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And LVN, don't get me wrong, man, he's a very athletic dude. And I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't want to see Preston go. You guys know how I feel about Preston. I think you can't put a price tag on that veteran leadership, especially one who's got a great locker room attitude, and he plays every snap like it's the last one. You never see that guy loafing. He's good against the run, all those things that you want in just a good, solid veteran starting defensive lineman. But that play a couple weeks ago on Chalk Talk where LVN ran down the run from behind, Preston Smith ain't making that play.
Right.
It's one of the things in my mind, just trying to say, okay, what are some of the benefits of LVN getting out there? Another thing, too, when you seen Enigbari run down that jet sweep last week or the double reverse, Preston Smith ain't running that down, right? Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. You got those guys that are going to be a little more versatile in that regard, and Preston Smith goes back to doing what he does well. Like Tim says, just a win-win.
Right. Will you pull up the yards allowed, Clay, and just
yeah, absolutely, man.
Organize that by there.
Yards allowed. I wish I hadn't. Emilio, look away. Eric Stokes leads the team at 284 yards allowed. Keyshawn Nixon is second at 250. Now, keep in mind, this is overall yards allowed. This isn't on an average basis. And the reason that looks so much worse is because if you go to targets, Keyshawn has been targeted 41 times, all right? And he's given up 250 yards. Eric Stokes has only been targeted 33 times, and he's given up 34 more yards, right? So not that good, bub. Jair Alexander at 244. Quay Walker's the tough one, right? 244. And again, the Quay Walker one is we've seen how effective he is covering the seam. That's not the problem. It's just those curls and everything underneath those leak plays where he's so hesitant on attacking the football. I just imagine every time a play goes like the other night. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was screaming at the top of my lungs in that game against the Lions. I wanted that game bad. People probably watch the post game, watch the show, and they're like, man, Clayton don't really care that much. He's just calm. That's a bad bull crap. I'm in here screaming like a freaking idiot. When Jordan threw that pick six, as soon as I seen Kirby Joseph's hands come out of the Red Sea and grab it, I didn't make a noise. I put the Halfley picture up. That was me, Tim. This was my response. I just went.
I can just open the back door and wait for a pterodactyl to take him out. He was just hoping for it.
I'm telling you, I didn't make it. I was just like, of course this just happened. Because I'm literally 10 seconds before, I said out loud, nobody up here, I'm a weirdo, I'm talking to myself, right? 32 seconds. Don't do anything stupid. Let's protect the middle eight, please. He rose to the right, hands it to Kirby Joseph for six, and I just went, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So anyway, back to yards allowed. Anything catch you off guard there, Emilio?
That X number is crazy. The fact that he's only given up 90 yards allowed is pretty wild as a deep safety.
Yeah,
just because I know that. Evan Williams too. Look at that. What's he 70 yards? So both of our safeties aren't getting beat over the top, which is huge. I think that one that one, did he pick, was X pick on Jones's little wheel route, or did he just hit him on that one? No, he picked that, right? So it's I don't know. It's pretty cool to see that we are not getting roasted over the top. We are getting torched on the edges, though. So I think that's just something to keep in the back pocket. If those numbers keep climbing like that, if we don't see them, flatline or at least slow down a little bit, that's going to be key looking at this team in the offseason for sure.
And I feel like Keyshawn has played pretty good football. The problem with Keyshawn is he's just giving up a lot of touchdowns. It's like they're targeting him when they get inside the 20.
And the same thing happened. He got that the one in green, the one where he was it was like a deep ball, threw him right over his back number, and then this past one against Amon-Ra, we got to spin the head or something. Put the hands up. Let's keep looking at the dude. Put your hands up. I don't know.
Think about it. You got Amon-Ra, and then you got the other one you're talking about was Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
So it's like, you want your guys when they're going up against top tier receivers in this league, you need them to show up.
Yeah.
And there's two examples right there where, you're there, but you're not affecting the play,
But then right. And then also, Tim, let's not let it go by the wayside. We'll go down one spot there. Our boy Ja only in for 6 games at 244 yards on 29 targets. That's not ideal either with 2 touchdowns, and he wasn't in there to be covering Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson. So that's just another tough part as well.
As far as touchdowns allowed, Keyshawn Nixon has allowed 4 touchdowns. Jair Alexander with 2, Eric Stokes with 2, Isaiah McDuffie with 2. And again, this is in the pass defense, guys. Eric Wilson 1, Corey Ballantyne 1, Javon Bullard 1. I'll tell you a name you don't see on here giving one up. Xavier McKinney and our boy, where's Edrin? Yeah, Edrin hasn't given up one, has he? Edrin Cooper? Nope. So Edrin Cooper has not given up one. Now, to me, the more important statistic here, and listen, points are most important, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can see a player can play his ass off and then get targeted 3 times in the red zone, busted coverage here, whatever. He gets credited with the touchdown. That can kind of skew it sometimes. But when you go to passer rating when targeted, okay, and we'll have to filter out some of the noise here, but you're going to start with Xavier McKinney. 34.5 is what the passer rating is when they target him. I'll just let y'all talk about that for a second. I mean, that dude is just phenomenal.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. The fact that he has more quarterback pressure percentage than his quarterback rating against is wild.
Those are Mitch Trubisky top passer rater numbers.
Right, exactly. I mean, that is going to keep the Bears under 4,000 yards for the season, ever. That's something that we're looking for, but just incredible. I cannot believe the Giants let him go like that.
Yeah,
I remember that day we did that pod live after we just picked him up, dude, and we were blowing up like, what? We don't need a safety in the draft. Yeah. Who cares? Like, let's go.
And thank God we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
They went out and got Evan Williams, and his passer rating when target's only a 47.9.
You hear people talk about shutdown corners, in this league. X is a shutdown safety. He is a
Ed Reed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And you don't say those names lightly, right? I mean, when you talk about some of the best to ever, patrol the back end of a defense, man, I think Xavier McKinney belongs in the conversation just based off of the tape I've seen last year and this year, what he's doing. And, you got to think it's just going to continue. And he's one of those guys that seems to, he's like a fine wine. He gets better with age,
Right.
It's good to have guys like that on your team, man, for sure.
Like the 3 that I would want to say, Tim, would be like Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins type thing. But he doesn't play. I mean, he can hit like them. He can tackle like them, but he doesn't play the game like them. He's a completely different, lockdown, like you said, safety.
Yep. But like you said, the reason you make the comparison, even though the styles of play are different, is because of the influence they have on the field and what it will do to an opposing offense when you've got a guy like that back there toying with quarterbacks. It's really fun to watch. We've seen him do that a lot, man. He'll come sugar at the line and you bat an eyelash and the guy's deep third and he's in position to make a play. It's just
and he's
amazing.
never off the field. He's never coming off the field. So you better be ready to play against that man. Prepare to play against him.
That's right.
So, as well as passer rating when targeted, like Holmes here, X equals no fly zone. Yes, sir. So next on the list is at 72.9, Carrington Valentine, guys. 72.9 passer rating when targeted. I don't want to see Eric Stokes on the field. I just don't, man. Put Carrington out there until he proves he doesn't deserve it, right? He's obviously had a lot more success this year, comparatively speaking to Eric Stokes, who we're going to have to scroll down a bit, but Eric Stokes, 113.7 passer rating when targeted. So Carrington Valentine, how many targets has he gotten here? Let's see. Is it a lot? Only 2, right? Okay. So only 2. His playtime percentage is 38.9%. So when he is available, he's only playing 38% of the snaps there. But he has played 122 snaps, only been targeted twice. And being targeted a low amount and a 7th-round pick, it really says a lot, don't it? I mean, it means he's covering his guy up, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's bad, especially in the fact that he was on for 51 run Ds. So about 70 snaps were pass plays and was targeted twice. I'll take that.
Let's take a look at his targets real quick. You want to?
Let's do it.
It's just 2 of them. So let's just take a quick glance and see how his targets went. See if we can identify him. Let's see. So, he's going to be up top. It looks like he's playing a little press technique, right? Let's see what we got here. Let's roll the tape. Roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, now he's going to bail out. You see that? Looking like a cat, Emilio?
He did.
Looking like Maze right there. Look at Maze.
He just snapped its head around.
See what we got here. Catch, man. Look, it got back quick, right? Underneath concept there.
I mean, and that's, if they're counting that as a target on him, that's I'll take it, I guess. Right? That could have been Kubek. That's a wash.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that wasn't really his responsibility, right? All right, let's see if we can identify him here. Is this him at the bottom now?
24, yep.
All right, let's see what he does here. Playing off, about 10 yards. Whoo, just about picked that ball, didn't he?
He was sitting right there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep. Kept him on his hip all the way.
Let's take a look at the end zone cam here real quick if it'll let us. Ain't gonna let us. We'll run it one more time, then it should go to the end zone cam. I believe it'll automatically switch to it. Hopefully it does. They may not have the end zone cam either. I want to see that from a little bit better angle and see how he played that ball. Is it going to?
No, I don't think they have it. That's crazy. So his only 2 targets were against the Colts. And then besides that, he hasn't been in or
he just hasn't been targeted.
Yeah, no fly zone.
Yep. So, and again, you kind of see it there. Like he's all over that receiver, man, So, all right, cool. I'm telling you, NFL Pro is awesome, man. Just be like, hey, let's take a look at those 2 targets, shall we? Absolutely love it.
Chris, I believe Valentine is the only hope at cornerback.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that too, man.
And we've been so worried about the linebackers, we completely forgot to check on corners.
Yep, exactly. And again, the big issue, right, is on the outside is Eric Stokes, who's been a liability, and Keyshawn Nixon giving up tutters. That's been the 2 big things that sticks out with the second. Other than that, the secondary playing pretty darn good, right? Look at Rashawn Gary, 75.7. Let's put him out there on the boundary. You know what I mean? Get him out there playing some press. Jair Alexander, 80.2, right? Obviously got 2 picks. He's given up 2 touchdowns as well, though. Edgerrin Cooper, 82.9. You love to see it. Is that best at the linebacker position? It is, right? Got 10 targets for 6 catches. All right. 82.9. LVN dropping into coverage. He's been targeted 5 times.
Wow. Can we pull those up?
Let's do it. Let's see what happened on that. Let's geek out here a little bit. We got a little bit of time.
Well, if that's the case, if he's going to be dropping and Preston's gone, let's know what we're getting ourselves into.
That's right. Let's see. There he is right here on the left side of the screen from the offense's perspective.
Oh, beautifully played. Stay on your man. I'll take that all day long.
That's it. Put him on the boundary too. Let's go.
Position right now.
So basically, everybody on the pod's going, what happened, Clayton? So he's lined up in a wide 9 over the tight end on the outside shoulder of the tight end, right? Ball snap. The tight end tries to block him. LVN engages, and it's obviously a leak. LVN recognizes it,
Mm-hmm.
Just pushes the tight end down as the ball goes whistling by his ear. Love it.
That's exactly like, why'd you try to stop blocking me? That didn't make sense.
So here we are again, right? Wide 9 on the right from the defense's perspective, on the left from the offense's perspective. Let's see here. Ball snapped. What's he going to do, guys?
Chip.
Oh.
So they counted that as a target and a catch given up. And that's why it's important to watch the tape, right? Because, again, it's just – and I love it. He beats the tackle and just completely annihilates the running back, right? What's the running back here? Then he gets back and helps make the tackle, I guess.
With just his forearm. Like,
right.
LVN used like 19% of his body to just drop that guy. Look at that.
And then we'll see. He was on the ground. It's like, all right, he can't catch the ball.
Like flicking a mosquito away.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is that's a high FBI move there too, because the running back's trying to chip and get out, and he's like, "Now let's just go ahead and put him on his ass real quick." Right? Exactly what he does. Bang.
Beautiful.
So you can see the athleticism with LVN
for sure.
But the fact that was a catch and yards on him is, man,
it's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Again, same position, right?
Yep.
Same exact position. Wide 9 right. Outside shoulder to the tight end. Engages with the tight end. Shrugs him off. Gets to the tackle. How is that a target for him? None of these are targets.
They were trying to take the weight off Quay. The heat off McDuffie. There we go.
Yeah. They fell down on that one. Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen that too, Tim. I won't say anything, but just tough, man. You know, it's like athletic freak. Oh, drives me crazy. All right. Again, wide 9 right for LVN here. See what we got. Quick bull rush. So they just do a little screen pass by his ear, right? And he kind of goes bull to end, little rip move, don't he? Yeah. Bull, rip.
Yeah, I want to see. I hope
my goodness,
expand his bull.
What'd you say, oh my goodness, for Tim?
I saw that piss poor tackling from 23. We'll just, oh my God.
Yeah. Look like you're doing yoga out there. Not a good pose right here, right?
Stretching the back.
Talk about a guy I want to see coming back strong out of the bye week, man.
Roll that back just a smidge. TJ Slayton wanted to just take this kid's head off and just sell it.
You see Kenny Clark get out of the way like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing out here? And I like, Kenny, it looks like a missed tackle with Kenny, not making excuses for him, but at the same time, he does have a blocker in the back there.
Yeah.
Nice little no call there, right, guys? Look at this.
No
bang.
Call. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Where's Ronnie Boy when you need him,
Exactly. And let's see here. Another target for LVN. That's his spot, no doubt about it, right? He's playing right.
He's comfortable there, 100%.
Let's see. Oh, reads the screen. Look at
I like that.
Great
Turn
job.
Back inside where your help is. That's all you can ask.
Great job there, man. Let's watch it one more time.
That's his one target. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, I agree. And he did allow a catch, but at the same time, he played that absolutely perfect.
And he's working. He's working against a tackle, right? Or did they bring in an extra?
Yeah, they sift the tight end over, right?
Pull it back a little bit. Pull it back a little bit more. Okay, no, yeah, I was going to say. They sift the tight end over. I thought they were running 3 tackles or overload or something. Unbalanced, I meant.
Yeah, great job though, man. Read the screen, so good stuff with that.
That's kind of like that play we ran the other day, or when Jaden Reed ran that slip wheel. That's kind of the same idea. Let's sift Tucker over. He'll pick up the block instead of a screen on the backside. Where remember we were saying did they set up a screen for Rasheed Walker or something? Mm-hmm. Basically that same exact play, just turned into a halfback screen.
Let's look at LVN's pressures. You want to? While we're here, this might be fun. All right, wide 9 right. Nope, that ain't him. He's inside here. Look at this, boys.
Yeah,
against the Colts. They got him playing a 1-tech and an overload. Check it out. What are you laughing about? What the hell is your problem, Emilio? What are you giggling about?
Eric Sutherland.
Eric in the chat. Don't put that one up.
Yeah, I would.
Right. If I had a quarter for every time we said, don't put Eric's up.
Yeah, that's it.
We can do Holmes as Holmes said, Eric, I just peed myself. Laughing emoji. All right, so let's see LVN from the one tech, looping all the way. Oh, good stuff, man. Good burst, man. Good acceleration from LVN.
But roll that back real quick. Look who's all on the field right here. We got Rashawn, Preston, LVN, and Enigbare. So who is the next person that goes on the field now? But
that's a good point.
Mosby.
It's a double stunt too. Check it out. Gary and Preston stunt. LVN comes all the way across the formation.
Do you think Devontae Wyatt could be that dude that comes on in Preston? What is this, 3rd and 15? So if this is their NASCAR package or whatever, do you think it's Devontae Wyatt or do we think it's Aaron Mosby, Brent Cox, something like that?
I think they're trying to make Devontae Wyatt that traditional 3-tech and good against.
So they wouldn't put him out there, you don't think?
It's all about that snap allocation, right? And you're trying to really monitor the snap count.
Right.
So when you're going NASCAR, that's probably his time to rest, right?
True.
I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I see it.
So then Mosby, right? It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so, Mosby, yeah. Watch this right here, boys. Nice little move. You're going to engage, right? Swat, rip, pressure, sack, bang.
Carl Brooks putting in work there too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when Hafley got in his bag.
Yeah, that's when Clay was 3 or 4 deep on those Coca-Cola slushies. And
bro, let me tell you, it was a cherry slushie.
The sun was just
with Captain
Morgan immediately out of them.
Bro, it was so hot. It was so hot. And people were reacting in the chat that next morning with our show. I'm like, I don't sound that bad. I went and listened to it back. I went, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't just the fact that we set it up on a side table in a hotel room. It's the fact that we were sunstroke, heat stroke.
I'm telling you, man, I had several drinks and did not use the restroom one time. That's how hot.
I told you to banana up, man. You weren't listening to me.
All right, wide nine. We're way over on time. Look at this bull rush, boys. Got back there, right?
Dang.
And Levis can't step into that throw because LVN pushing that tackle.
Oh, if you're going to go down, just sell it. Go full tilt, man. Barrel roll, take out everybody with you.
Yep. Hey, but that's what we saw when we were looking at his tape coming out of college. That was his bread and butter. Just bull rush right off the edge. Take the tackle with you if you have to, or just go right through him.
And I hear people say he's only got one move. He just bull rushes. That's BS, dude. Like, you're seeing the punch and rip, punch, pull, rip.
We've seen swat and swim.
Yeah, you got swat and swim. You got a swat and rip.
I think it's smart. I think his starting go-to is a bull rush.
Absolutely.
But he branches off of it a lot. I think that's where people are getting it a little hung off. But you saw right there.
Rashawn's kind of the opposite.
Yep.
Rashawn will pepper in the bull rush once in a while. Usually he's good with the hand technique to get in there.
This is a perfect example right here. Watch LVN. He's going to stunt inside. All right. So you're going to see him kind of loop in, get ready for it. Right. So he's going to start at the tackle, loop in. Okay. Great pressure. I love now he did get pushed in the back. If he doesn't get pushed in the back right here, right?
That's a sack if he doesn't get pushed in the back.
Yeah. No penalty, of course. Right. But that pressure should have led to a pick. We talk about pressure, pick, coverage, sack. Look at our boy McDuffie. Right. Dropped interception. But again, LVM with the pressure that should have led to the pick. So
look at Aaron Jones gave up on the play too. Run that back. My man ran right off to the sideline. He was trying to say hey to the players. He was trying to say what's up to the old Packers guys. He was like, all right, DJ Moore, take notes.
He was like, I think I left something in my old locker. Y'all see it?
LVN again, wide 9 right. Let's see if he gets chipped here at all. No chip. Great job there. Kind of a little start stop, right? It's pressure, forced him out. Unfortunately, bad angle there by Enigbare. Enigbare's got to know right here, you have got to get upfield, not downfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a horrible angle. Because if he doesn't get that was on 3rd down, if I remember correctly. I've watched too much football this year. Is that 3rd down? If it's 3rd down, I'm going to hate myself. That was 1st down. Okay. 1st down run, but obviously I think he scrambled for the 1st down is what it was. Mm-hmm. But again, there'll be another pressure there. So these pressures are legit, no doubt about it. He's
right.
Obviously GPS tracking, they can't screw it up. But here we are again, wide 9 right. little bull rush. He felt it a little bit, didn't he? Felt that just a touch. Let's watch Murray. See if he feels this off the left side. Oh, yeah, right there. He wanted to kind of scoot left and couldn't. You see how close LVN got. Yep. Who's that working the other side? Is that Gary? Or is that Enigbari?
Enigbari.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a great job of keeping him in that pocket, collapsing that pocket around him.
Mm-hmm. You could tell that was the game plan too.
Yep. You have to against a guy like that. He will squirm out of there and make you pay. And it didn't happen when we played Arizona because we kept him in that pocket in the well. Yeah.
Coach Lynn says LVN can play 3-tech in NASCAR downs. Yeah, and I mean you've seen him in that 1-tech too, Coach. Right? I'm excited. I think they're probably looking at it like if they didn't think LVN was ready, then they wouldn't have parted ways with Preston. They'd probably said, "Tell Preston suck it up." You know, if they feel like they're in a good spot with Enigbari, LVN, like we said, Aaron Mosby starting to turn it on a little bit. Maybe Brenton Cox Jr. comes in and sees time. We've seen Carl Brooks at a wide 9 earlier in the year. They may be going that route on occasional snaps, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you guys would scan that QR code in the upper right, that'll send you to our Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. I had some more questions queued up from the Patreon group. We got 2 or 3 that I wanted to hit on. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit one real quick. Won't take a second. We'll get out of here. It wasn't really a question, just a comment from Damon. Red Wine says, for as much crap as we give Rashid about penalties, he's only had 2 the last 6 weeks. His other 5 were in the first 3 weeks. So seems like Rashid Walker is cleaning up the penalties there at left tackle. That's a great thing for sure.
That's good. Coming into his own at that spot, Now I think he's starting to really settle into that role.
Yeah, definitely. And Jake G126 will hit your question tomorrow morning, okay? So, this was fun, though, man. We, like I said, we went over a little bit. We pulled the tape up, and it's amazing. It flies by, don't it? So, but again, it's cool to get kind of a jump and start to see, all right, here's what we're going to see more of with LVN. Probably about 5% increase in workload. Same thing with Enigbari. Now, if we come out next week against Chicago and LVN jumps up well above Enigbari, then they're taking the training wheels off. It's LVN time. I think the more snaps he's out there, too. Obviously, he's a physical specimen. He's in great shape. He can handle the workload. I think they're just kind of monitoring it there with think of it from a tackle's perspective, and we'll wrap up right here. If you're going against the same guy and they're setting moves up, blah, 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 whatever, you're getting tired every snap. They're getting tired, too. But if they go 3 or 4 snaps, they go off the field and you get a fresh body out there and you got to block that guy. That's tough, right? Yeah. So I don't mind the rotation. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I think you have to. I think you have to. You want fresh bodies. You want and we have the depth. I really believe we do, and we have to see it, right?
Yep.
Got to see it.
Got to see it.
No, I think
you got anything else, Bo?
Just couple stats before we go. I know we were just talking about penalties. So Pro Football Reference has us at team penalties of 67 for 485 yards. Our opponent's penalties are 55 penalties for 442 yards. So the yardage not much different, but our amount is 12 more than what our opponents are. That's not ideal. It's not what we're looking for, and I think we gave up a lot more first downs because of it. And then the other one that I liked was our conversion ratio. So our offense is we've had 107 third down attempts. We've converted 40 of them for a percentage of 37.4 on third down. Don't love it, but it's not terrible. It looks like that ranks our offense 20th. The opponents at third down are 103 attempts for 34 conversions at a 33% rate, puts our defense 7th. That's pretty exciting. Because I feels like we've been on the field a lot on thirds, but they've actually been stopping them pretty well. Almost, 1 in 3 chances, they're getting it. Besides that, we're holding them. Love that. And then our fourth downs here, our team Packers went 7 attempts for 4 conversions at a 57.1%. That puts us 15th. And then our opponents went 12 of 7 for a 58.3%. That puts them 17th. So, we're not I'm not happy about the third down, I guess, for our offense. Besides that, though, I mean, you're not going to get every fourth down. And the only thing that we really needed to really work on this break would be our red zone attempt. We've had 34 red zone attempts for 16 red zone touchdowns at a 47.1% rate. Hate that. We need to turn that back into the gold zone or whatever we want to call it this year. Our defense, 32 attempts in the red zone, 19 red zone touchdowns for a 59.4%. So that actually
room for improvement there, though. Still room for improvement there.
Right. That actually puts our defense 20th, but at 60% for, we need to flip those numbers. I'd like our defense to be under 50% and then our offense to be kissing that 60 and up. Because our offense right now is ranked 29th in red zone.
See, and the best defenses do that too. They tighten up with their back against the wall. The closer you get down there near the goal line, you gotta tighten up.
Yep.
And I think we can improve there for sure. And you're right, offensively, holy cow. For a Matt LaFleur offense, man, we need to be putting more tutters on the board in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Sending a tweet out. Apologize. We got some other cool pictures. We'll show them in the morning, Tim. Old school Packers Bears pictures.
Nice. That'll go good with some coffee in the morning.
Absolutely, man. I'll quote tweet that out so we'll know to hit it tomorrow morning. But all right, appreciate you guys. This was fun, man. I know we went way over, but it's awesome that we got the tools, we got the things we need to actually break stuff down at a different level. Even on a bye week, there's plenty to talk about, right? So you come in here going, can we get 40 minutes? And we're an hour 32 in. All right. That's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow for PTA, or what we like to call in the morning, Good Morning Lambeau. We're going to go live at 8:30 Central there in the morning. So make sure you guys set your alarm clock. Emilio, you working tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you weren't working, you still wouldn't get up, right?
No, I get up. I'm all right getting up during the week. It's the weekends, you just got to kick the feet up and relax a little.
We had a video of that, right?
Good morning.
Exactly.
Mike
Barry said morning. That's right. We're doing a morning show tomorrow. We'll do more of those as we get a little deeper into November. I don't know what that was. I sound like that little kid there. We'll do a lot more morning shows as we get deeper into November. There's not going to be a night show tomorrow because it's playoff football. The nephew's team made the playoffs. We're going to be trying
playoffs.
Damn, that caught me off guard. So we'll be watching high school playoff football tomorrow night. So we'll definitely get you a show in the morning, and we might potentially do one early afternoon. We'll see how things go. But that being said, help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, like this guy right here. All right, go Pack, go. Appreciate y'all.
True international effort to pressure.